Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about the Legends Race revamped system, and I'm also going to be talking about the UMAs that will be featured in the first year anniversary. This system will be added on the part 4 of the first year anniversary, and what it is that the very old Legends races that happened a very long time ago will be added onto this list. Every single day, you will be given an extra ticket at the start of each reset, and it lets you do any Legends race of your choice. So, if you are somebody new to the game, you can do old Legend race of the Umas that you haven't ever done. Or simply, if you want to go for star pieces of a specific Uma, this will be a very awesome introduction to the game. So how it works is that once you beat the Uma of your choice in the Legends race, you get a singular star piece for them. So that means that if you want to go and unlock the Uma from the ground up, it will take some time. I will go into specifics. So, if you haven't beaten the Uma at all in the Legends race, instead you will get their trophy for beating them, and of course you will get the first time beating them, which will reward you 10 star pieces of that Uma and 150 carats, and also the additional 100 carats from the trophy itself. So for each single Legends race that you haven't done is an equivalent of 250 carats and also 10 star pieces of that Uma. However, there is going to be stuff that I would recommend you to completely avoid if you want to go for a specific Uma. Do not mix between the races. So what I mean by that is that like a day you go for an Uma and then a different day you go for a different Uma if you unlocked all the trophies. If you didn't, that is fine. You could do the Legends races that you haven't beaten yet for the rewards if you care about that, then that is fine. But I'm talking about it in the sense that you have completely done every single Legends race. You start mixing between, a day I'm going to do the, like let's say, Gold Ship, and then a different day I'm going to do Major McQueen. That is something bad. You shouldn't really be doing this. And point number 2 is that do not farm any 2-star or 1-star Uma. It is unfortunately practically worthless to do that, especially when some of the 3 stars that I will mention are actually going to be very good for the longevity. So avoid farming 2 stars and 1-star Umas. And of course, point number 3, if you still do not do this, buy every single shard from the daily shop. It is going to matter a lot more, and especially since money is not that big of an issue anymore with the increased amount of rewards that we have been getting. So please buy everything from the shop. Next up, a thing to note is that if you have beaten the Legends race before and the Uma is now on the featured list for that revamped system, you will not be able to get the bonus. It only applies to the Umas that you haven't ever beaten before. For example, here is an example of me. I have been playing on the release of Global for Umamusume, but I have re-rolled on the Kita-san banner. So that means that I haven't done Special Week, Symbioly Rudolph, or a Condor Passa's Legends race. So I am eligible to get the bonuses for beating them on the first try, being the 150 carats from beating the race itself, 100 from collecting the trophy, and of course 11 star pieces because I get 10 once I beat the Uma, and I also get the daily 1. So that is something to keep in mind. So here are the Umas that will be on the release of the Legends race system. We have Special Week, we have Symbioly Rudolph, we have Taiki Shuttle, Tokai Teo, Major McQueen, Opera O, and then we have Silence Suzuka. For the 2 stars and the 1 star, you ideally just want to collect their trophies and move on. Trust me when I say this, you don't need to farm 2 stars or 1 star at all when it comes to the Legends race. And of course, shoutouts to Soul EC and the person who made this graph for me to use on this video. So I'm going to be going through every single 3 star that will be mentioned here. Of course, you pick one of them and you comment all the way. See which one prefers your playstyle and also who do you like the most. If one of them is your favorite character and you still do not have them, then go for them. If you already have your favorite Uma from the list, trust me, just unlock the others. It will be helpful in the long term. Let's say for example, I really like Special Week. That doesn't mean that I should just spend every single day doing the Legends race for a Special Week. It would take about 400-ish days total if you wanna count completely on the Legends race income when it comes to star pieces. So that is not recommended, because to unlock a 3-star Uma provided from the star pieces alone, you need only 150. So you're practically missing out on 2 extra Umas that you could have on your account. So that's pretty much it. The first one, which is going to be Special Week. She is a very good late surger and a pace chaser, and of course her unique is actually very consistent nowadays. With the November 11 balance change, it became much better overall. And on the 2nd year anniversary balance change, she actually receives a very extreme buffs to her kit, namely being in body and mind, now becoming an actual really good skill, and also her unique, instead of becoming target speed increase, now becomes a current speed increase. So that is a very big buff for Special Week. So if you really like Special Week, you can consider going for the original version. Next up is going to be Symbuli Rudolph. Symbuli Rudolph is a very good late surger and an encloser, and she is a very good parent for those 2 positions, because it requires you to be overtaking 3 opponents, and of course being a late surger or an encloser, that is going to be somewhat more consistent, and of course it gives you very big target speed increase. And lastly, she has good affinity with a lot of the Umas, and she can be used as a debuffer. She is going to be very good as a debuffer if you want to bring her in medium, because of her unique condition, where since she requires you to overtake 3 targets, you can make it so that this Uma is not going to proc her unique at all, so I can control where exactly she goes, where she dies, etc, etc. So she can be a very good debuffer. Next up is going to be Taiki Shuttle. Taiki Shuttle is a great pace chaser, and of course her unique is extremely good on mile, and sometimes some medium maps, it depends. And of course she will be used with Nishiono Flower for pace chasers in those tracks. Sometimes if the sprint map works, she can also be used on sprint. So Taiki Shuttle is going to be probably one of the Umas that you should ideally focus on if you are looking for a very good parent for pace chasers. Next up is Measure McQueen. She is a very good front runner and a pace chaser. Her unique is extremely good for front runners and sometimes pace chasers, specifically on medium and long distance tracks. Sometimes mile can work too, however Measure McQueen has mile F, so it is a bit iffy. And of course, she has good affinity with most of the front runner and pace chaser cast. Then we have TM Opera O. She is very basic. She is a great pace chaser and she excels in medium tracks since she has killer tunes logged onto her kit and also Speed Star. So those 2 are extremely powerful skills for medium distance tracks alongside her unique skill. So Opera O is a decent Uma, but definitely I wouldn't really say you should really go for TM Opera O if you have the New Year version, since the New Year version is overall better. And then lastly, we have Silence Suzuka. She is the only frontrunner to have access to Runaway Mechanic, which is going to be helpful to buff your frontrunners in long distance tracks and medium distance track to create big distance gaps. Because of how runaway mechanics work with other frontrunners, it increases the pace of the lobby, which helps your fronts make big distance gaps. So overall, Suzuka is going to be a very good Uma for frontrunners to quote-unquote buff them with distance gap. And of course, if you properly built an actual Suzuka and provided that she is the only runaway in the lobby and there is no other Suzukas, she can solo a lot of the lobbies. And that's pretty much it. If you found this video to be helpful, consider subscribing and consider joining the community server, link in the comment section, and I hope to see you in the next one.